a quick workout before we fly out at noon for the Les Mills conference this week. 2 days, 2 nights in Texas, so it should be interesting. I will do my best to film and highlight as much as I can throughout the trip, but gonna go shower, clean up, get ready for the airport. Okay, so I want to show you guys real quick how to strategically pack for a conference. This one is 3 days, 2 nights, and we'll be doing 2 programmed workouts, and a lot of it will be lecture and sitting down and listening. So they said there was no dress code, but I would still recommend wearing business casual as much as possible, because that just makes you look more professional as a fitness professional. So I am going to share with you what I'm packing, some strategic things to bring, especially for the ladies out there, and hopefully it's helpful for you if you are considering doing more conferences, or if you're doing your first conference, attending your first conference this year. So here's my lovely suitcase. I have my strategic plastic bags for laundry, so when I have sweaty clothes I can use those. I have my computer charger. I always tend to try to, always check my email and make sure I'm available as much as possible. I have sunscreen just to be on the positive side. It is supposed to rain in Texas while we're there, but it's supposed to be warm. So I have sandals to wear to the airport, and mostly when I'm out of my shoes. Lots of sports bras. I'm bringing at least 4 workout outfits just because I know we're gonna be doing a lot. Hair dryer, straighteners, and my other bag because I'm gonna use to get ready. I have outfits, so I'm not gonna pull everything out because I need to get ready, but the biggest thing is to definitely, with your workout clothes, plan on bringing a backpack. So I'm bringing a backpack because I can pack everything that I need to wear in there if I need to do a quick change, go into another workout, or if I have time to go back to the hotel, luckily, then I can get, or my room, I can get ready there. But along with your workout shoes, plan on when you do a workout or a lecture or a workshop at a conference to bring your sandals with you, because it's really nice to be able to take those sweaty shoes off and put your sandals on. So that's a strategy. Those towelettes that I might have shown you, I don't know if I can't remember if I did. Obviously shampoo, conditioner, lotion, but these are those Costco towelettes. You can get a big package of them, a little journal, and of course toothpaste, but really important for you to pack into your backpack as you go to sessions, because it's a nice quick way to kind of wipe off, feel refreshed and better for the actual sessions that you're going to throughout the day. So that's my strategy to you guys. I brought, as I said, business casual, so comfortable business casual clothes and shoes, just so I look more professional, but I have some sweaters. I'll show you guys what I'm gonna wear to the airport today, as well as show you what I'm going to wear back from the conference. So hopefully it's helpful. And if you guys have any other strategies, along with like the plastic bags, definitely some sandals. I'm bringing my swimsuit just in case, a lot of just in cases, depending on time, but I don't know if you necessarily need to bring like a sweat towel. I have yet to really need one of those. Just lots of changes of clothes, and those plastic bags are really nice to put those dirty clothes in throughout the trip. So if you are going to a conference, another strategy might be to bring a yoga mat if it's a longer conference and you're going to be on carpet and hard floor all day, and you're going to be doing a lot of yoga or Pilates. And another thing to potentially pack for a conference with cycling in it is those cycling shoes, because they are kind of a game changer to make you feel a little bit better wearing those shoes connected to the bike. So hopefully that's helpful, and I'll see you guys soon. Hopefully I'll be able to get some video of us traveling from the airport. Hopefully no excitement there, and I'll see you soon. I got really lucky that no one's in this locker room right now, but here's what I'm wearing to the airport. I am going athleisure with obviously the leggings, and love my Birks. It's been raining like crazy this winter in Seattle, so where I'm from. I'm so excited to hopefully wear some sandals, because if I could wear sandals all the time, I would be a happy person. So jacket, just kind of layering up for the airport is smart because it gets cold, cold and hot. So layering up, I am ready to go, all packed up. That bag's gonna stay here, but just a backpack and a suitcase is all I got. And a dream, and I'm on to Texas. welcome to the hotel we're staying at in the Woodlands, Texas area. Angela and I, the manager and the Seattle club, are going to go ahead and head out to dinner real quick. Flight was a little bit later, but we made it. We're here. Thought I might as well just show you around the hotel that we're staying in. We don't have a super early day tomorrow, so I'm excited to just enjoy the hotel and head out for the conference in like the afternoon. Sadly, it's raining and cold in Texas right now, but we'll just enjoy the learning experience and the experience of staying in a cool hotel. So here's my bathroom. Pretty cool shower. Hung up my dress in the little closet. We got coffee and 2 beds that I get all to myself, so I'm not sure what to do with those. Usually a group of us go to the Idea World Fitness Convention and we have like 4 people to a room. So definitely the best way to go to be cheaper. But you know, if you get the chance, might as well do it. But so I'll let you guys know how tomorrow goes, or I'll try to take some pictures and videos, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, so here's the deal. We're at the Goose's Acre, and it's someone's birthday, and then it's like Steak Tuesday night, so we get whatever we want on that menu for like $10 off, and then we just got a bottle of wine because it's $10 off, right? Oh no, half price bottle of wine. So, and then there's like, this is the restaurant. Let's check that out. There's like, crazy. Go out on a Tuesday night. So, that was a lovely dinner at the Goose's Acre in Woodlands, Texas. You should check it out. I had the pork chop, and again, it was $10 off if you didn't catch what I was saying on Tuesday nights, and half price bottles of wine. So we got, I'm pretty sure we got like a Columbia Valley bottle of wine. So not super exotic when we're here in Texas, but I'm here, you know, enjoying my now brewing chamomile tea. And I noticed that they left me a lavender balm. So before I go to bed, I'm gonna try that out to get sleepy after that party of a restaurant. It was a really cute, probably not the right word, really cool and fun and funky Irish pub. So we hit it just in time for pre-St. Patrick's Day, because I can't imagine what that place would be like on St. Patrick's Day. But was fun. Hanging out with coworkers during these conferences can be really, really enlightening into the daily things that they go through, and that's part of the value I feel like of going to conferences and experiencing trips like this, is getting to know the people who you work with every day in a different place and in a different setting. So I really enjoyed chatting with Angela. We had a delicious meal, we had tasty wine, time to wind down, and we're gonna kind of just play it by ear tomorrow morning on when we end up working out and if we end up hooking up in the morning. It's, like I said earlier, totally different staying in a room by myself. I'm not used to this. So normally I'm with a group of people, and when I film this for Idea, it's going to be very different. But time to call it a night, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Morning. I'm here in beautiful Texas. Behind me is that Goose's Acre restaurant that we visited last night. Pretty tasty, pretty fun. I'm not gonna complain about the weather, but I'm kind of disappointed because look at how beautiful this waterway is. Hopefully, we're supposed to get some sun tomorrow if all goes well, but the pool to the hotel's right there. The pool to the hotel's down there. I'm gonna figure out how to get down on that path to get a walk in and just do some exploring, but wish it was a little sunnier, but it's warm. I mean, it's warm for me. So gonna go on a walk and then hit up the gym. Angela's gonna meet me there, and then we're gonna do this conference thing. So see you later.
Favorite author. So Jack Carr was a Navy SEAL sniper, retires, gets out of the teams and says, I want to be an author. Like even worse, yes, because now I'm off balance. So you guys all know this. The ideal athletic position is on the balls of our feet, right? So join me on the balls of your feet, leaning all in with people who are all in, who are living lives that are bigger than normal, who are honoring men and women like Mikey Mansour. Because what I know is, as good as each and every one of you is, you can be 10% better, 15% better. Will you join me? Will you be in?
I guess we were hoping you guys had all the answers to that. And then talking about, in one of the areas that maybe see a lot of turnover is with personal trainers. So, how can we keep the trainers? And one discussion we had and is that culture of that business or that club is very important for retaining people. So, for example, at our club, we're a very small club, single owner, only been there 2 years. There's a lot of competition in the area, but our owner preaches to our team that culture is everything to us. Anybody can have equipment, anybody can set up a child care system, anybody can have group.
Hello. Okay, so we finished the first half of today. So we traveled yesterday. Angela and I arrived, showing you some videos of our nice little adventure, getting to know the area a little bit. Today we started at about 12:30. I took some quick videos of just snippets of what was happening, but they had provided us with a nice lunch. We started with a keynote speaker, Bill Hart, who wrote this book real quick. I'll show you. The White Collar Warrior. And his message was all about, learning the lessons from military leaders of how they make the most out of their day, how they live life. He called live life on the balls of your feet. And that was ultimately the biggest message I feel like that I took away, but also the great lessons that we tend to hear the most common things, a theme of ways to make sure that you're planning the best week, the best day, the best life, and really great lessons from military professionals. So the military elite. So his keynote speech was very motivating, very interesting. What I've loved about this so far is that it's more of not just the keynote speaker speaking to us, but then we broke off into groups getting to know the people at our table, and they split myself. So here's a little name tag. I have the number 1. They split me up from Angela, which was fine. We were more than happy to be at different tables, but we got a totally different experience than we would have if we were together. So I really enjoyed networking with the people who were there. There's about 50 people, I think, in the room that were there today. So post lunch, we listened to the keynote. I'll read some of my favorite notes from his keynote, and I'm looking forward to reading his book. Again, that was Bill Hart, and we moved into next, discussions, so problem solving, membership problem solving. And when you hear that or you see that on an agenda, you can't help but be like, how is this really going to go? Am I really going to get anything out of that? And I really enjoyed hearing from all these different managers and leaders from different parts of the country and different walks of life. And some of them are at different leadership levels in their company. Some of them have 7 clubs that are smaller. Some of them have one big, huge club that they're overseeing. Some are just the group fitness managers. Some are the personal training managers. Some are the GMs. So I've really enjoyed hearing different perspectives, but just how in touch everyone is with what they're doing and how they're reacting to things. So I'm not used to quite going to conferences or educational fitness experiences where people are engaged as much as this one. And I really have to say that I've seen a lot of value in that for myself. So I want to run through. I didn't take a huge ton of notes. I tried to really be focused on what I found was the most important to me. So hopefully this is helpful to you as well. The keynote's biggest things I took from the keynote were definitely the most positive things you can do, 5 really positive things you can do to make sure you are a successful human being. First thing is create a written plan of what you plan on doing, and that could be one thing or that could be a lot of things. You could say, I want to be a good mother. How am I going to do that? Review it every day. And then these 5 things to be better at something or to accomplish a goal, I think could be relate to anything. But so if you're a group fitness instructor, written plan is to increase your class numbers by X number come this month. So and then making things visible was huge. So I really want to work on that with my team going back, is how I can make my goals more visible to myself and then to my team. So written plan, review daily. So whatever that plan is, whatever that goal is, reviewing it daily. Creating non-negotiable daily disciplines, and even hearing I've been reading Brene Brown's book, Dare to Lead, and listening to her audiobook on the way here. I was again, this has been happening to me, influenced by people who are saying things like, you need to create disciplines and boundaries in your life so that you are creating the best life for you, and you're being the best person you can be, the best leader you can be, the best anything you can be. So the non-negotiable daily disciplines he provided to us needed to be done by like noon. So a workout, I know that I work out better in the morning. I know that I'm more likely to work out if I do it in the morning. And then he provided us with, waking up at a decent time, not hitting the snooze button, eating a balanced diet especially before noon. So, hopefully afternoon as well, but really diving into maybe some good mind-body experiences you can do in the morning versus checking your email, or he really highly recommended, which I would too, not watching the news right after you wake up, or letting someone else guide where your day should go and be in charge yourself. So written plan, review daily, non-negotiable daily habits that set you in the right mindset and make you a better person. Accountability partner, so finding someone who's going to help keep you accountable. I found that really valuable. And blocking out distractions. So that's something I need to work on. So those are the 5 things I really need to work on: blocking out distractions. On my phone, I've done a decent job of that, but at my work computer, I will say, whenever an email comes through and I'm working on something very important for marketing, I see that notification ping on my desk or on my desktop, and I have to click it. It's like a problem. I can't ignore it and let it just go away on its own, because it sits there right in your screen. So I need to figure out how to get that out of there. So something to think about in your own day. Are you looking at your phone and seeing those red numbers for notifications? Turn them off. I have to tell you that that's made a huge difference in my organization and my life. Getting a full focus planner was a recommendation he had. So I have kind of a list of things I want to do after listening to him. And it looks like it's a planner that really focuses on 3 daily things. So making sure you're accomplishing those 3 tasks, and then all the little weird things that happen throughout the day that aren't necessarily as important as those 3 things will help you progress more quickly, kind of find that momentum in life and in leadership and in whatever role you have. So one of my goals is to plan on putting up some kind of boards or like marketing plans or boards in the office somehow, buying that full focus planner, turning the notifications off on my computer for that very reason it pops up. Some book recommendations he had were Jim Rohn's, Jim Rohn's, Jim, obviously for Jim, and then Rohn for Rohn. And Seasons of Life sounded like a really interesting book. The other one was Grit by Angela Beckworth. So looking into that, I think I've heard her talk on a podcast before about it and sounded interesting. So I want to dive into that because I haven't actually read her book. Then here are some quotes he shared with us that I really loved. Where did you learn discipline in your life? So when you're meeting with somebody or even a client or a potential personal training client, most people, he explained, haven't learned discipline. And discipline is something that's a habit, right? It's something that we have to do to make sure that we're doing and living our best life. So where did you learn discipline? Just asking yourself that question. And if you're implementing discipline in your life, I think is important. And how, when he quoted Jocko Willink, who's written the most recent book I've read by him was The Dichotomy of Leadership, but before that was Extreme Leadership. That's because he's mostly known for. But he said discipline equals freedom, which makes so much sense if you really think about it. So the discipline of eating right, working out, being healthy, you show up to a beach vacation and you feel confident in your body, that's freedom to just not have to worry about it or be stressed about the way you look. There's so many other instances of that I just felt was so helpful. Being organized and then going to a conference and having to speak on the fly. You being organized, you being prepared is going to be very helpful. Another one was we do not rise to the level of our expectations, we fall to the level of our training. So when you think about that for yourself, are you training enough? Are you practicing enough? Are you learning enough to fall to that level? Or are you just kind of expecting yourself to get to a certain point and not really doing anything about it? So I love that. It's putting in the effort that's going to make the difference. And then with your team, how are you training them? Because they're going to fall back on that training that you're providing them. They can't just want to be a great instructor. You have to provide the tools and the training for them to do that. That's what they're going to fall to. We must all suffer the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. The important thing to remember about both of those things is the pain of discipline is small and in ounces. It happens over time in small little pieces. However, the pain of regret is huge. It's me not doing that discipline. I feel disgusting and gross because I'm on this beach and I didn't take care of myself and I'm embarrassed. So that was really interesting. Not being prepared for something because you didn't have the discipline to prepare for it. And then when lack of a better word, shit hits the fan, the regret you have from not preparing or being disciplined is way worse. And then he really finished with, if you're going to be all in. And he told us a really intense story about a friend he had who was killed in action and was a Navy SEAL and was a great guy, and showed us some pictures of him. And it, good end of the keynote, and it ended with, how can you be all in? And then we went into our groups and we talked about, they broke us up into different groups, different topics. And really I could tell this whole conference education opportunity is much more about like retention of members post January, right? Because January is when we start to see a lot of people coming into classes. They start to come into the club. They're excited about getting fit. I just want to make sure I'm still on time. I'm going to change really quick because I have a workout after this. But, our discussion for our group was supposed to be about marketing and how, if you might be doing marketing efforts, if they're not retaining members or they're not bringing in new members, the strategies that you need to, or what we've experienced in our clubs, implemented that worked and didn't work. And one gentleman talked a lot about how he's hired a team, basically spent over $1 million to help him target market in his online space, and how that's really helped him. I know that our club members tend to be a little older, so the mailers are still going to work for them and the radio ads may still work for them, but I don't think we do enough, definitely online, that I think I'd love to target more. Workouts at home are potentially something that hinders membership retention or getting new members. And so a lot of people were saying it's not necessarily a competition against those at-home workouts. It's more that they're already going to do them, because about 85% of people do work out at home. So instead of thinking of it as competition, how can you become part of that market? Which I would love to see our gym do for sure. I'd love for us to have online. I know it's not that easy, but I would love to have us have online virtual classes or just online access for our members. So something to work on and think about. Onboarding members, how you can make sure you help see their progress. So how the issue can be when someone's not onboarded to the membership correctly, they're just kind of thrown to all that you offer and then they have no idea where to go. So help make sure they see their progress, make sure they see what they want to see as far as what you offer that works directly to them. Any decline in membership purchases, I think redeeming points and a rewards program is a great idea. A lot of that was thrown out there. These people are really smart. I really enjoyed listening to the feedback from these people from various walks of life. They've all been really, really great. Then high turnover of employees. That's technically a retention issue, not only for your employees, but also because once members start seeing your employees leaving, they are going to start leaving too, because they're like, what's going on? Why is everyone leaving? Is leadership poor? The experience just gets really poor. So obviously we do a great job, I think, of maintaining our employees, helping them feel. I want to work more, I think, on making sure my team knows just how much value they bring to the club. We are, I think, treading water sometimes and making sure they have all their certifications and they're up to date, and we go to their classes as much as we can, but it's reminding them just how important and valuable they are, because they really truly are. And then retention of members, ultimately, it's just relationships. What relationships are they building in the club? amongst each other with the employees. I think our club does a great job of that with the culture we build. But I also feel a lot of our members, I think, wish that they were spent more money on than us constantly going out to get members. So I've had a really good day learning from other people and learning from people in various walks of life. They gave us a really cool swag bag. Here's the Les Mills swag bag. We got a water bottle in here. I wanted to show you that. I like to show off swag bags because, oh, Siri, I don't want to talk to you. You silly. I like looking at swag bags because when we make our own at the club, I don't sometimes run out of ideas, and you don't want to give them like 100 water bottles. So notebook, couldn't hurt to probably think about that. A power bank. This was different. So charging your phone, so you could put branded power bank. So I think that's something I want to consider for our swag bags for the future. Pen. Les Mills pen. Woo. Towel, which I will bring for our workout just now, and some hand sanitizer. Always, that's a cute one. Les Mills hand sanitizer. What do you know? Thought that was really nice, really sweet, added touch, moment of magic, that they provided a little swag bag for us. But I mean, I've been very, very impressed, and I've always known Les Mills has always tried to just really help the fitness industry in general. And they said right away at the beginning that this is not going to be an infomercial for Les Mills. We just want to make sure you guys are successful. And I just really appreciate that. You can't help but appreciate people who really try to do good in the industry and not just sell you stuff. So I appreciate that. I really appreciate this whole experience. And I'm looking forward to the workout. So we're about to go do some body pump with Luca. He was awesome. He was the MC today, and he's a master instructor for them. So I'm really excited to quick 45-minute body pump class, and then we're going to check out a VILLASPORT gym nearby. So about 10-minute drive. But thanks for watching and staying with me on this trip, and I'll update you on what happens next.
Super slow press. 4, 3, 2, 1, and up. Again, 4, 3, 2, 1, and up. So the heart straight down to the center of the chest. Bring your elbows and 9 straight to the bottom. 3 and 1. 3, 2, 1. Start pressing your shoulders into the bench.
All right, so made it back to the hotel after the demo of the Les Mills body pump workout. It was about 45 minutes. We got a nice tour of the VILLASPORT club, and it was very nice. I got to see a lot of good strategies to potentially implement as far as storage, and love looking at different clubs to kind of see what they offer and what they provide to their members to identify as well. So we also learned some cool stuff that they do in their childcare, which isn't my department, but I can always bring that back to our club. But if I were to give feedback on the experience of the actual body pump class, Luca is awesome. So much fun, so much energy, very positive and just smiley, and very good at giving direction, because I know in body pump it's a lot of transitioning and teaching to the music, which can be fast or slow, or depending what you're doing, it can go by really quickly. And as an instructor, trying to cue everyone into the right position at the right time with the music and get everyone doing things safely, I'm sure is very difficult. The 3 things I noticed I would love to just explore more about the format was, and maybe you guys can comment and share your feedback on why they teach it this way, or if it's something that it's a Les Mills thing or it's a body pump thing. And I'll ask some of the Les Mills representatives. But when we started, we just went right into the weights without doing any kind of like squat without the weight, or like walkouts with our arms, or I wonder why we would just jump into grabbing weight. It was lightweight, so it was supposedly a warm-up weight, but I tend to feel a little bit better before picking up a weight, moving with my own body weight, doing some twists, doing some extension work, that kind of thing. Curious about that, and then would be curious to ask about why they don't move the spine in more ranges of motion. I would have loved to see, especially in the core track, less of just sit-ups and more extension work or side bending or twisting work with that. So I'm, again, going to ask those questions, but something I would wonder about that Les Mills format, just as far as the effectiveness of the workout. Definitely high rep strength training, which I know members love. Our members love our class that we call barbell strong, to be that high repetition strength class. And then the third thing I was noticing was just how much he stayed on the stage, and he has so much personality and the ability to connect with people that I would wonder why he couldn't get off the stage more often and mingle with the group and walk around the room a little bit more. So those three things I'm a little curious about. So if you have any feedback on that, or if that's something that's just required in the class. When we were repeating things, there was more than enough opportunity for him to come around the room and get next to people and high five someone, or like even in transition. I just would have loved to see that. So a lot of equipment on the floor, so I know that can be definitely kind of sketchy running around the room, but would have loved to see that. So we are about to do a networking dinner / kind of cocktail hour, and I am really hungry. So it's only technically 4 o'clock in Seattle right now, and it's 6 o'clock here, and I normally eat way later, like at 8. But I think when you're thinking a lot and you're processing things and you're meeting people and you're experiencing something new, I don't know, maybe I burn more calories. I don't know what it is, but I'm really hungry. So I will catch up with you guys, if not tonight, then tomorrow morning. Okay, this weather in the morning is much more like it. So just hanging out by the pool after a quick workout, and then we're gonna do yoga, or it's called Body Flow, Les Mills program. I'm gonna walk down and kind of walk along that waterfront a little bit. Hopefully Angela and I will be able to do that later too. We have to check out in just a little bit, but it's really been a great trip, and I will follow up with what happens today. Some more, I think, group meetings, and last night was a lot of fun. We swapped stories with a bunch of managers and fitness managers, group fitness managers, fitness owners. It's a lot of fun, great people. I've enjoyed this.
How many people would like to improve their retention? That should probably be every hand, right? This has been a topic for us as an industry. As Adrian said, we lose half of our members every year. This is a big one. So, but we know that in our own study with Les Mills classes, they on average will stay 36 months.
Okay, I am back in Bellevue, and I am glad you got to see a little bit of what myself and Angela were able to experience in Texas for our longer afternoon after we'd finished our sessions in the morning. We did some body flow, Les Mills body flow in the morning with Luca, and then started our day on that second day, just identifying really, we had Matt from Merit Clubs do a nice presentation to us about his clubs in Boston and how he really tries to go a different route from other clubs. So I'll specify that in a second. But afterwards we did explore Old Town Spring, Texas, and that was really fun. It was a really quaint little town because we had noticed that the Woodlands was just very much like Bellevue or Redmond, was very similar to that. So we wanted to do something different, and we went to a place called Corkscrew Barbecue, which I showed you a quick video, a clip of the food that we had, and oh my gosh, it was delicious. I taught 2 classes today. It's Friday, it's Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day. I taught 2 classes today, and I feel like I still am full of brisket. So it was delicious. The service was incredible at Corkscrew. If you're ever in the Houston area, I would highly recommend Corkscrew Barbecue. So we got a taste of some barbecue. We head to the airport, and then we did got some work done before we left Houston airport and just made our way back to Seattle. So we landed late last night. We made our way back to our work days, and then thankfully it's Friday, so we get to kind of rest up. I feel good even with the time difference and the traveling, but a lot of people today were like, you're back from Texas already? And I feel good, but I really am eager to implement a lot of the things I learned. So really something I took away from in just the learning process, and something that Bill had said in his presentation, and then Matt as well in the Merit Club's presentation, was you're going to most likely take away and implement 10% of what you learn in these past 2 days. And I really want to try and avoid that statistic. I would like to implement the to-do list as much as possible that I have written down with me. And I'm going to share my to-do list first, and then I'm going to recap what we had learned from Merit Clubs, and then go through a little bit of some of the other takeaways that I took from the entire experience. So my to-do list for the upcoming months are, and I do have SCW Mania in Burlingame, California that I'm going to as well soon. So maybe I'll see you there, and I'd love for you to catch me and say hello. But and you're welcome to follow me on Instagram to kind of see where I'm at, what I'm doing, or message me. But I am trying to think about what I'm going to do in the next few weeks strategically, so that when March comes around, I don't feel overwhelmed with the information that I get when I go to that conference too. So what I'd say for now are my to-do list items are to definitely plan and hopefully be able to implement boards in the office where it's more visible. There's a go-to plan. I can write on a whiteboard exactly what our goals are, maybe even have an area on the whiteboards I'm thinking that have specific instructors we need to reach out to for the more like logistical tasks like CPR and who's up and who's due when, so that the both of us, myself and my assistant manager Jessica, can work together on keeping up to date on that. So want to do some boards, and that'll help me focus, I think, on the future of the year too. I want to buy the full focus planner. I had mentioned that in an earlier video. I want to turn off notifications on my computer, definitely doing that. I want to block time for my email, and it's something I've been wanting to do for a long time, but really to make sure I'm not checking email more than 3 times per day, and also making sure that I'm not checking it right when I wake up. So really trying to do that. I want to create a recruiting table at the Pacific Northwest Conference that's coming up in April. It's going to be here in Bellevue, and I'm working with Human Resources to have a table or a booth at that smaller conference to hopefully hire some instructor needs that we have. I want to read the book Grit by Angela Beckworth. I was talking to the man from Merit Clubs, Matt, about how he, and we'll get to that point in a second, but how he implemented a non-bonus program with his managers and directors, because I do feel like sometimes that kind of bonus structure at clubs can make managers so focused on the bottom line that they aren't spending money on expenses that they really need to. And I find myself doing that sometimes. Like, I definitely will never let a studio not have a microphone in it that's working and that's dependable, but I do wait as long as possible before I replace them. And like the mouthpiece could be like flopping around, or like, and the instructors just deal with it, but they're always working. So I need to step up my game and make sure that I'm purchasing things quickly. There's no use in waiting on things like that. I want to read the book Seasons of Life by Jim Rohn. I talked about that earlier. I want to start we have a magazine at our club, a Pro Pulse instructor feature section, where it's kind of like the instructor of the month, or, you know, instructor anniversaries. Like, we've had 3-4 of our instructors have their 20-year anniversary this year, so I'd love to do a feature on that. I feel like that's an easy way for us to not only promote our classes, but also thank the instructors for all that they do and give them some attention. I want to read, let's see. I want to send thank you cards to the Les Mills team for all that they did and just the amazing trip. I want to find out the average age of the joiners of our club. So how old are the people who are joining our facility? Because I will say, when all these other just marketing companies and, you know, like MindBody or even Les Mills, they're like, millennials are the future. And I get that they are, but the current member we have right now is not a millennial, the majority. But I do need to pay attention to who's joining our club. So I'd love to get that information from our membership team. I'm very interested in that. And then I also had heard that your schedule, I really like this, should be 60% catered to the members you have now and 40% catered to the future. Who's coming in, who's going to be wowed by the experience and what you offer. I talked about Grit by Angela Beckworth. Did I say Drive? I might have said Drive. So Grit by Angela Beckworth, and then Drive by Daniel Pink. Grit is more about just like being gritty and hardworking. Drive is the one that I want to read, suggested by Matt, for the bonus structure. I want to pay attention to how many visits per person in the group fitness department. I want to try and figure out that statistic of how many people who are members and do group fitness classes, how many more times they visit the club. I know the national average that Les Mills shared was 3 times a month, which is very good if they're a group fitness participant, and then the normal non-group fitness member comes maybe 1.5 times a month, so double if they're doing group fitness. So I'd really like to find our numbers, and then just identifying, do we have enough classes that hit our target? So identifying, I'd love my goal to be something that Lacey, who works for Les Mills, was talking about, was can you get to the 50% mark, where 50% of the visits that come into the club are going to group fitness? And when I think about our spaces and I think about the times and days that we offer classes, I don't necessarily think we could hit that number. So I'm gonna do some math, figure that out, and then make that my goal. And then when we listened, I talked about the discipline, I talked about the stuff that we heard from Bill earlier that time, but I also want to talk about merit clubs. So once again, we were listening to, I wrote his name down, I want to make sure I am very good about saying his name. Drive by Daniel Pink, I already talked about that. Dang it, what was his name? I'll find it as I go through these. But what we had heard from the Merit Club's COO was just how you have to set your gym apart. And the quote that really resonated with me was, if all you have is a good treadmill, you are being the same, and will just, members or potential members will just go with the cheapest place with a treadmill. It won't, if it's not about the people, the culture, the environment, then they'll just go with the cheapest treadmill gym. They don't care. So I really liked that we need to be more than just a facility, a fitness facility. We need to be way more than that. And then he was talking a lot about sales. So would you rather buy something? Yes, I would like to have the choice and be interested in whatever item I'm about to purchase. Or would you like to be sold something? And just the word sold is not something that people like to hear. So changing luxury language, I want to talk to our membership team about that potentially. Instead of saying membership sales team, we say the just membership team or the welcome desk instead of sales. So we're leaving sales out of it. I liked how he said that they don't have doors on their membership offices. They make sure that whatever they say back there can be heard by other people. It shouldn't be, they're not doing any medical information like our personal trainers are, so there's no reason for them to be behind closed doors. So I like that idea. He talked about the stages of learning and how a member goes through the stages of learning of understanding that they don't quite know what they're doing, and then they hopefully stay long enough to be a member to learn what they're doing, and then to be looking for what your gym offers and becoming a really dedicated member. That's your goal, is to get them through those stages of learning. And then he went into service. And what I loved was when you're hiring people, he talked about character, competence, and consistency. Love that. Making sure that when you're training your team, they are consistent, they're competent, and they have great character. And he identified that if someone comes to your gym wanting a job and is rude to the front desk, or even the front desk even slightly thinks twice about them when they talk to you about them after they do their interview with you, then don't hire that person. So I totally agree with that. As hard as it can be when we need people to be that selective, I know that getting rid of somebody who doesn't want to be there is really hard to do, as weird as that sounds. And then 6 levels of service. So the first level, the base level, it's not even really considered a level. It's just you're so bad at what you do that it's a level, I guess. It's a way of identifying what you are, but not providing the basic level of service is criminal. So if we did the example of your front desk staff, they come in, or let's say group fitness, let's stick with group fitness. Someone walks in the room, the instructor doesn't look at them, doesn't acknowledge them, doesn't give them attention, never corrects them, like that's criminal. That kind of service is criminal. And then just above that is basic. What would you expect? You'd expect them to come in, say hello, start the music. Hopefully the music is playing beforehand, but basic is, all right, it's not playing beforehand. The next level is expected. So the instructor accomplishes the music playing beforehand. You walk into the studio, you hear the music playing, you're like, oh cool, it's kind of expected, but nothing wowing you. And then number 3 is desired. So maybe the instructor says hello to you and they remember your name, or they help you grab your weights or identify what weights you need. They seem knowledgeable. That's desired. You desire a knowledgeable instructor. And then something surprising. So maybe they not only remembered your name, but what would surprise you and level up that experience or that service is they remember your kids' names, or they remember that you went to their soccer game last week. And then unbelievable would be, he talked about an instance where he lives again in Boston, and a member of his facility operations staff went outside on a really snowy, cold day and cleared off all the cars. And I felt like that is unbelievable. You being cold, sweaty, leaving the club and seeing that your car was cleared off and you could just basically warm up the inside and drive home. So awesome. So unbelievable would be that. And then level 6, really, I would put as to hopefully pro, or beyond. That's kind of a level. Level 7 would be hopefully pro. I want my team to not only want to serve and care about people and help people, but also just love what they do, and I want to appreciate them, and I want to take care of them. So I want to level up my leadership and hopefully share these levels of service with them to help them grow and evolve as instructors as well. So I'm really excited to share these concepts with my team come our team meeting coming up in March. I liked that he talked about, so I shared the books that I recommend you going to. Then it really went into, from him, it went into more, Les Mills came up there and talked more about the group fitness programs and how to develop a great group fitness program. And they are basically going to be doing more education throughout the industry for just group fitness specific, and I love that. I think what's great is I love their statistics. I love what they share with the industry based on the market research they do with thousands of members among multiple locations in Australia and in the US. And they shared a lot of that's where the percentage came from. The 40% is more specific classes for people who may not be your regular normal members, and then the 60% are the members that are the formats that cater to your members. And then making the goal of 50% of your classes per week, 50% of your visits per week of members going to classes. That would be amazing. Our goal I think right now we're at about 20%, and I'd love to make the goal of 50. The personality and teaching list that they shared as far as a great instructor was an instructor who coaches intelligently. That was one of their biggest personality traits and teaching traits. They're an entertaining instructor. They care about what they're getting out of the participant, and they care about what the participant is experiencing. They look or move in a very inspiring way. So it doesn't have to mean that they're necessarily the most fit person, but you can tell someone's athleticism from someone who's not the most athletic, or someone who has more energy than someone else. And then finally, the last thing was someone who gets to know their classes on a personal level. So those 5 traits were something that they said were huge among participants when they vocalized why they take classes from certain instructors. And then I got some really good ideas on how to take a class and then to provide feedback to an instructor. It's so hard. I've done a video on it before about just how I want to see my team as much as possible. I want to be visible, but I also don't want them to feel like I'm judging them all the time. So I liked how they encouraged managers to really understand that they're not judging their instructors. They need to clarify that with their team, that you're there to help them grow. And then our goal is to my goal this year with my team really is just to make sure that we're more of a community and that we are all in it together to empower, enrich, and educate our members and make them better people, more fit, more healthy, more active, and really I just want that to be our goal as a team. So I will put all of these little videos together and do my best to share with you the trip and experience that I had, and I'll continue in these next few months as I go to conferences, share with you what the experience is like, and feel free to share any questions you have, or and I'll do my best to respond in YouTube or again my Instagram page, and share with you what I would recommend if you are going to any conferences. What I recommend, like I'd shown you what to pack, I'd shown you kind of what to expect at a conference as far as the class, and I hope you enjoyed this, and I look forward to showing you more.